A pure creature, lingering to its heart's content. It looks docile and innocent at first glance. But if it's disturbed from its peaceful desires, pure anger becomes pure strength. As its power grows, so does its ire. Getting in its way is risking life and limb. It's already too late to realize that this creature's desires are not to be trifled with.
What's good, everyone? It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dick Dug himself. First and foremost, let me say two things. One, I was previously sick for a couple of days, and this is the first time I'm actually talking more than like 2 sentences. So if the audio sounds a little weird, it's that. I'm sick, trying to come over this. We're doing the best we can. Nevertheless, today we're going to be fighting Garangolem, and the second thing that's to be noted is this is a collaborative video. Shout out to the big homie Sanman. He'll pop up in here in a little bit. But first and foremost, we are fighting Garangolem, or GG, or Golem, as I like to call him. He is one of the 3 lords that this game is known for. We all know, I guess we've seen them in the trailers and whatnot, but this is the Frankenstein monster, if you will. He looks amazing, one of the coolest looking monsters ever. He even debuts in one of the coolest locations of all time, in my general opinion, the Citadel area. My man Schmancy made a video about that exact topic. You can check it out in the description. Nevertheless, Garangolem is a heck of a monster. Okay, this guy, he's pretty significant. The thing that I love the most about him is his ability to throw his weight around. He throws his body around like nobody's business. He's really good at that. And on top of him being really good at throwing his weight around, throwing his body around, he does have a couple of weaknesses, a couple of unique things about him in his fight. So that way, when you do go to fight him, it's actually a little easier than what it appears to be on the surface. So I'm going to give you those couple of tips and also them kind of tricks. Of course, that's what I do. It's kind of my job. So first and foremost, one thing you'll note about Garangolem is that he uses his 2 arms. He uses, the left arm for water, the right arm for fire. One thing to note about these things is that he himself is susceptible to that of the thunder element and also water behind that. So if you're going to be coming here fighting him, if you're only running the newer monsters that we fought thus far, you won't actually be able to have an elemental double up on him. So I'd recommend going here with some Kezu. Use these type of elemental weaknesses to do as absolute much damage you can to these arms. Because if you don't do these damage to these arms, you're going to face an issue where you yourself get completely smashed. So with all that being said, just understand that you really want to go in here as like meta as possible. Either you have a really good crit set or have a really good elemental set. The arms are what you really want to focus on, because even though it has slightly less damage than that of his head, the arms are where you're going to get most of your knockdowns, your trips, and like I guess you could say debuff him a bit, because once you do the damage to the arms, he himself loses the ability to actually imbue his arms with elements, so that way you can and if you do not hit him and break this, he gets a knockdown, and he has to force him to go back and reapply these elemental things. But I mean, I could talk to you more about how to fight this guy. I mean, that's my job. That's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? It's 100% what I'm here for. But I think I have a better idea. Now would be a really good time for me to bring in my homie.
Thanks, Dak. Hello once again, everyone. This is your main man, D Sanman, aka Sanman. First things first, what I want to say is go follow my Twitch on twitch.tv/thesandmanyt. Also, I have a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/thesandmanvg. And of course, that's just enough self shoutouts. Let's go to the Garangolem fight. Now, first thing we need to mention is its arms. Once it gets angry, it uses its left arm to do water damage and its right arm to do fire and blast damage. You know what elemental effect this monster has on its weapons? Why, fucking nothing, of course. Also, something to keep in mind is whenever he stomps his right or firearm, it usually leaves a bit of blast for the player to walk into it. One of the things that will make you most likely shit your pants upon impact of the first Garangolem quest is how it uses its firearm to jet boost itself in different directions. Be wary of the fact that it can move basically across the map with this maneuver, and can follow up mid-air with a really vicious strike from its left water element arm, along with doing some vicious headbutts. It can also slam its head into the ground and charge at you full blast, stomping with both its fire and water arms. Not only that, but it can repeatedly slam its arms about 3 times in succession, so be wary of that. And yeah, one other thing coming from its enraged form, it's big ol' smack. Easy to evade from, but if you get caught in it, you'll get some massive damage, so yeah, be careful. Its projectiles include 3 big ol' rocks, which I evaded from smoothly because I'm really good at this game. Team Darkside hit me up. And a big ol' rock that he just throws in the air and slams to the ground. Finally, it does this mean old attack where it summons a big ass rock and makes it explode. And let's see how Dak took that one. But
I'm actually okay with it. Oh, bitch. I can live. Nope.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is that mean old belly flop that it randomly decides to do. So, yeah, be careful with that too. Anyways, that's pretty much it for me about Garangolem. You, go off, Dak.
Thank you, my mellow fellow. Now that we basically talked about all there is to know about the Garangolem himself in terms of battle, his weaknesses, and so on, let's move over to the gear, which is a good point, because, I mean, he has very, very, very interesting gear. So first and foremost, he introduces a new ability called a skill called Charge Master. Okay, now this is a very interesting ability. I personally would like to see more on it. By that I mean I'm going to test it some more. Maybe one day I'll have a video dedicated to like showing you what's more about this ability. But first and foremost is this Charge Master. When a charge attack hits a monster, the element and status buildup of the charge attack increases. Now it gives you 3 levels off the rip because it's godlike like that. And at level 3 it says when activated grants a large increase to elemental damage and status buildup. So I'm wondering if, let's say, as it's always been for millions and millions and millions of years, elemental damage has been pretty crap in Monster Hunter. But maybe this is a time for them to show up and say, hey, let's make it pretty good. So I'm hopeful this is going to be a really, really, really good ability. After that, we have Maximum Might, Tremor Resistance, Flinch Free, Focus, Spear Burk Hole, Slugger, and Stamina Thief. Now with these abilities, you can off the rip look at it and say, you know what, you can make a Greatsword set, you can make a Charge Blade set, you can make a Hammer set, so many different sets you can actually make out of this just off the top of your head. You can even squint a little bit and make a couple of different things. Or you can sidestep it all and take a couple of things, mix and match it to make your own juicy mix set. But what I want to get across is that the set is varied and you can do a lot with it. Now his weapons though, now we fought the monster, you fought the monster. He hit you with Water Blight, hit you with Blast Blight, even had a little bit of fire in there. What element does he have? Sman's already said it, nothing, no element, raw, big slaps. But that's okay though, because they are big slaps, high damage stuff. Looking at like 330 off the top. So it's actually 310, I think, off the rip. Pretty decent slappage of a number, you know what I mean? So it's actually very, very good in that regard. However, depending on where you are at the time being, or where you're about to go to, kind of a spoiler alert, his weapon will only be useful for a very limited time, because there is a weapon directly after his that's better than his in every category, kinda almost, except like the raw numbers. But when given the sharpness multipliers and so on and so forth, it'll be better. But nevertheless, the weapons are still really cool though. The ability of his armors are nice. The weapons are still pretty cool. The fight is insane. It's a fantastic fight. He has so many different layers he can cover you up with. But just note that if you're gonna fight him, the arms are like a huge thing. Like I said, like Sman said, he has a whole bunch of different varied ways of doing things. He has the jet boosting with one arm. He has the belly flops. He has the charging with his face on the ground. He has a lot of things to annoy the player. But you can totally get around this if you, in my opinion, when I fought him, yes, you want to stay and do a lot of damage to the arms. But if you can't get on the arms, go for the back legs or whatever. That way, he can't do that much damage to you, because he himself does damage from the front end, not from the back end. So that's my one little tiny thing there. Remember, thunder or water, that's how you're going to do the most damage. Hit those arms to cause knockdowns and break his arms, so that way you can get his elements off his arms and forcing him to reapply them, giving yourself more time to do more damage, and you should be relatively good. It may take a time or two, you might cart once or twice, but I firmly believe that you'll be able to get it done, because in the onset, he's a very, very, very front-end monster. By that I mean he has the things that he does in the front end, the jet boosting with the arms, the slapping with the arms, but in the back end, in this case most notably, like literal back end, he can't really do a whole lot. So just fight close to the back, attack the arms when you can. If you get it knocked down, immediately go like hard body on the arms and stuff to break those, so that way he's again forced to reapply them and so on. You can do this multiple times, of course, and you'll be okay. Armor is pretty good, looks badass, but the weapons are kinda nah. But with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for coming and watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading these as often as possible. I've been sick. There's a whole bunch of other things I could get into, but I kind of feel like that's small potatoes. But I've been sick for a little bit, and you know, we'll try to get back going with this. I need to find a system to keep these things rolling a little bit better, but luckily there isn't as many monsters as a full brand new game, so I don't have to kill myself trying to do all this. But yeah, Smans, thank you so much for coming and collabing once more. It's been your boy. Take care.